Mr. Frederick? Born to be corgis. He's the master of the corgi. Stay over here, Mr. Frederick. I got this one-lane road. Gotta make sure we got all your dispute filed here. Up. Traffic was jammed. You see that? This car over here, he threw the raspberry, Frederick. That tow truck had to back up. He gave him the Lone Star. See, here's the problem. Here is the problem right here. Okay. We have talked about this for about 18 days. Right here. Okay. Let's back it up. We got to rewind the walk, Frederick. We got to rewind. Look, we're going to get to the catch-all bucket right here. Here we go. Look at this. Okay. Do you notice something, chatty chatters, besides the bucket? Okay, here's where the one lane starts. Ooh. Let's start our walk, Frederick. Dun, 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 dun. Don't take us down, Disney. Dun, 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 dun. Corgi, Yorgs. Corgi, Yorgy. Corgi, Yorg. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to something here. Frederick is keenly aware of this. Notice where that car is in relation to the sign on the right. He kind of rolling stopped that he might owe us $210.25. Okay. Here we go, Frederick. Okay. So we have passed through all of this. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Dun, dun, dun. Where's the sign? Look at the sign right here. Dun, 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 One lane road. It literally got, hold on, we can step this off. Hold on. All right, here we go, Frederick. Look, they even got a line marked for us. I'm going to use my official Nikes that are from the Green Bay store. Okay, so hello, Mason the Whale. These are going to be official steps. If this was a pirate map, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26. 26 paces. You get 26 paces of one lane road ahead. I had to get Fred out of the sidewalk. Let these people go by before we continue our story. Over this way, little Frederick. We got to get to your dispute receptacle. One lane road ahead. It was one lane road, mostly behind. Let's get to your dispute receptacle, Frederick. Here we go. Come on over here. Okay, so anyway, what we really wanted to talk about tonight was not road signs that are way out of place. So I watched off the Amazon Prime. I think it's called, I can't remember if it's called He-Man or Master of the Universe or He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Something to that effect. And I couldn't tell you who it stars other than Isra Urbis plays somebody, but not He-Man and not Battle Cat and not whatever the female character's name is. You're smelling what I'm selling. Over here, Frederick. And so you start the movie. So earmuffs. If you don't want spoilers, I'm sorry, you're gonna get spoilers. Earmuffs. So you start the movie, and they do the MGM, you know, with tiger, or it's supposed to be a lion, but they did it with a tiger. And you watch it, and you're like, what the French toast? That was the worst CGI. Who thought it was a good idea to CGI replace with that? Little did you know, dot, dot, dot. Right, you got to put a dot, dot, dot on there because this is important. And I'll back this up with, or I should say rewind. I don't watch previews. I don't watch trailers. I pay for Amazon Prime Video Ultra. And when Amazon tries to show me a quote trailer for one of their Prime exclusives, I literally call them up and I complain about how I pay for free and I don't want to see that bullshit. And then I complain to the Attorney General about how it's bait and switch. Anyway, so this will come into play later. So He-Man, or whatever it's called, it's like 2 hours and 14 minutes, which is a good 45 minutes to why I didn't watch it in movie theaters. Because if it was like 85 minutes, I'd totally break out and watch it. And the soundtrack was practically a banger, which we're going to do a little aside here. Come on, little Frederick. There's a different Amazon Prime movie starring Brandon Routh. And where I live, Kevin Costner calls it heaven. We call it Iowa. The town Fred and I are actually walking in right now, not making it up, but both Aquaman and Superman went to high school here. So they get on their high horse, and they being the townsfolk. Woo! And then, you got whole Captain James T. Picard being from Independence, Iowa, where the Enterprise was built, and then how it like blasts off into space and they use it to shoot down the Death Star. You smell what I'm selling. Anyway, Iowans love their superheroes is what I'm getting at. So Brett is disputing the fact that Iowans love their superheroes. Hold on a minute. So anyway, there's this movie. I can't remember the title, but it stars Norwalk's own Brandon Routh as a school teacher who fights something. I feel like it's called something like the Ick. If it's not the Ick, yeah, it's something like that. But if you just Google Brandon Routh movie, and he plays like a high school teacher who fights the Ick. And it might be like 87 or 90 minutes. The soundtrack is a banger. So hard for me to find corgis. I don't know. They got. If you look, they're easy to find. But anyway, so this Brandon Routh movie soundtrack banger, and it's only like 87 minutes, and you're like, hell yeah, this is like the perfect length. You don't even need a plot. If your movie is less than 90 minutes, the plot is the least of your concern. But if your movie is 215 minutes, or whatever, 2 hours and 15 minutes, what's that like? 135 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. Especially if you're drinking a brewski and you're trying to watch it. You're going to need like a bathroom break in there. There's no intermissions. Anyway, so He-Man soundtrack almost as good as that Brandon Routh movie whose name escapes me. And that's about the only positive I could say about it. So it should have been like 84 minutes. They made it 2 hours and 50. It should have been like 84. It's way too long. and they went on a bunch of sidetracks. And the one they skipped, the earmuffs again, the one they skipped. How did the Conan statue get the He-Man sword at the beginning? They literally glossed over that. And they go into a whole bunch of other useless background, but they skip over that. This is by far, you could put this on their tombstone. This is their biggest mistake by far. The show has a talking cat. Why isn't the talking cat in the movie until like 98% of the movie's done? It should have been starting the movie. Battle Cat, after they did the when you don't realize it's Battle Cat, he should have literally like busted ass through the MGM logo and like bit a Gorgon in half or whatever the hell they're called. But no, they wait until there's like 8 minutes left in the movie, and then the talking cat appears, and you're like, this movie had greatness. It had, what were they thinking? It's like they don't listen to audiobooks, read books, or watch movies or TV shows. Literally, your media will be a 10 of 10 if it has a talking creature in it that is not a human or an alien. You can see Fred has posted up on this fact. Come on, Mr. Frederick. We got to keep on trucking. And the other part where the He-Man movie severely missed the mark was they put a lot of adult humor in, shall we say. Come on, Mr. Frederick. But they were bad at it. And by that, I mean, they could have very easily done Shrek-style jokes where the kids laugh, and the jokes laugh at the same joke, and they're laughing at a different joke. But no. So the kids are watching, and He-Man's like, you're the fist! You kill people by fisting them! And the adults are laughing, and the kids aren't laughing. And they're looking at the adults like, why are they... We're supposed to laugh at that? Why? What was that funny? See, that's why you gotta shrug it up. Oh, that's Amazon's fault, I'm just telling you. So anyway, and here's the other part that sucked, right? Come on, Mr. Frederick, we gotta keep on trucking. We got almost no light over here. I don't know what they did with Skeletor's eyes, but it looked like Skeletor was standing behind a sheet of glass, and you were seeing like a reflection of his eyes on the camera for the film. And you're like, what the is this amateur hour? Even my special effects look better. I don't get it. So overall, the He-Man movie was pretty bad. It's like it's too long. The joke sucked. The soundtrack was pretty good. Oh, here's another one. So the female character whose name I forget. I don't even know if they. I mean, I'm sure they told us her name, but they probably only told us her name like one time. She was definitely eye candy as an adult. But like young He-Man versus adult He-Man, you're like, okay, they look similar. Definitely looks like, aged up. Young what's-her-face versus uh, adult what's-her-face, not at all look similar other than the gender. And you're like, okay, so they think, I feel like the younger what's-her-face, she was like I don't know, some executive producer's niece. I got you a spot in He-Man. I don't even look like what's her face. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so watch the Brandon Mouth movie, whatever it's called, not He-Man. I'm just saying. At least the soundtrack in that other movie's a banger. And it's a lot easier to ignore things like, I feel like that dude's my age. Brandon, what's his face? Brandon Routh. But at least when he plays a high school aged quarterback for the first 30 seconds of the movie, and then he's no longer that, you're like, okay, I can ignore that for the sake of flashbackiness. I can No reason to spend money on someone else for 10 seconds of screen time. Anyway, so and here's the other part where is if you subscribe to Amazon Prime Video Ultra, and in the subscriber agreement, the first sentence will say something to the effect of, when you subscribe to Prime Video Ultra, you will get an ad-free experience watching Prime Video. And you'll probably even hear, oh, 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 in the background because you're like, F commercials. Thanks, bro. Fred is cool. He's, I don't know, like 5. He's got 5 on it. Hello from Utah, Rob. O-ring, 10 ring. We are in Iowa. Anyway, so, oh, look at this. There's no breeze out here. Not even a Drew breeze out here. Come on, Mr. Frederick, we got to keep on trucking. If we stop, it'll get too hot out here and you'll melt. Look at this. Look at this Christmas in July. Holy shnikes. Hold on, we got to zoom it. Mr. Frederick, Mr. Frederick, come on over here, huh? Look at this. Mr. Frederick, come on, you're pulling the camera off angle. I'm trying to show our viewers Christmas in July. Look at this. Oh, do you think if we walk over there and knock on the door, they'll give us punch and pie? I feel like if you have Christmas lights going in July, you have to be giving out punch and pie. And not like the shitty pie either, like some chocolate French silk pie and some fruit punch that uses real sugar, not that Splenda or sucralose or blah, 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 betine that makes you shit your pants. No, the real stuff. Anyway. Frederick, I'm surprised we haven't seen any other doogies out here. They must not know it's, well, they probably heard you bark at you and they're like, that's right, Frederick. Should get his walk in. So Fred went and he fought his brother on Sunday, like always. They have like a regularly scheduled match. We're still trying to get this sanctioned and put on pay-per-view, but you know how the state is. They want their cut of those Corky baked hams. And I'm like, hey, if you want your cut, you can bid on the naming rights. Because I'm trying to like auction off those hams to like Smith and Wesson. Like the name would fit. Smith Wesson. Anyway, so Fred, when we go to find his brother, Fred goes from being my dog to mom's dog. His mom babies Fred, and she gives him like cuts of apples and cake and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, human. She is my human when we get in the parking lot or the driveway. So when we go, the funny part is, so Fred, he literally follows mom around the whole time. Ignores me. And she babies him. And of course, Fred does it because he's just trying to tease his brother. Like, oh, look at me. Your human likes me more than he likes you. Like, she likes you. Ha, ha, ha. So, you know how the corgis do. So, the funny thing, so mom got Fred. Oh, yes, she did. She did. So, last year in the spring, she got Fred a bunch of those jelly neck coolers where you throw them in the fridge and they freeze. And then you wear them around your neck and you're like, it's cold outside. They're nowhere near as good as a personal air conditioner, but in terms of the cost to benefit ratio, you could say they're winning the battle. So anyway, Fred got a bunch of these jelly nut coolers, and I've keep in the fridge for him. And we go for walks like this, and then we get home, and I put the jelly nut cooler on him because you gotta, I mean, look at that big bear skin coat. You gotta help him cool off. So anyway, like a week ago, not this most recent terrible hot weather, but the terrible hot weather before that, we walked one morning, and then when we got home, I put one of the jelly nut coolers on him, and then I forgot. And we went to like Culver's and had like a bacon cheeseburger. And we went home, and day goes by, blah blah blah. Let me see, because we walked at like 8:15 to like 8:45. I put him on at like 8:45, and then when I took him out at 3:45 again, after all our adventures after that, where I forgot about, holy shnikes, look at this. We got like Yaucha coming at us. Look at this Yaucha technology. Holy shnikes, Frederick. They might have, oh, no, they're not hover shoes, Frederick. We're safe. They're just, they're manual. They're manuals. I'm going to keep the camera down because I think it's actually children. Anyway, so between like 8:45 and 3:45. Are we safe? Are we good? Oh, I thought they were quad skates. They're actually inline skates. Oh, the one in the back is almost falling over. She got to get the good technique down. Over here, Mr. Frederick. So anyway, so the gel net cooler. Oh, look at this, the Grand Canyon. Oh, why do people gotta be people? Why do people gotta be people? Over here, Mr. Frederick. Anyway, so the jelly nut cooler was on Fred from like 8:45 to 3:45 when it eventually fell off, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to put that on you. It was only half melted, which should tell you how much of an insulator Fred's coat is. Okay, so hopefully we don't run into any doggies because I don't want to have to like drop kick this half full soda that might have pee in it. I think there's some, maybe adults, but maybe teenagers on. It's like an e-bike gang over here in the park. It's Warrior Park. They're literally over here like, Warriors. Ah! Ah, 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 ah. We were like one jump away from getting pee all over me, I think. So they're over here like, Warriors, come out and play. I'll show you. I'll literally, we'll walk over. I'll show you proof of this. Over here, Mr. Frederick, this way. Insert Jeopardy theme now. See, that's where AI would be useful. Speaking of music, so anyway, while we walk up to this sign, well, because members got a video. So the second to last video, here we go. Okay, so remember I said about Warriors coming out to play? You thought I was lying. You're like, he's making this shit up. Are you ready? You're not ready for this. Are you ready? Told you. Told you. Anyway, so we got to cross the street. We got those. fancy rollerbladers coming at us on this side. Okay. Whoa, man, we almost missed out on an accident right here. I should have had the one lane. Someone was doing like an 18-point turn and traffic could not handle it. That's what happens when you're slow with the camera. Fred, I wasn't ready. See, they tell you G.I. Joe's like knowing half the battle. Being ready is the other half the battle. If you know and it's too late, you're shit out of luck. Like we were right there. We had the perfect opportunity to almost catch a train wreck on camera. But I didn't know, Frederick. I didn't know. So Fred and I are going to walk to where the sidewalk ends and then call it a night, I think. This was kind of like one of those, I didn't plan on walking today. I even told Mom when we talked, I was like, I gave Fred the day off. I wanted to make sure his shoulder was good. And then I wanted to talk about the He-Man movie and didn't want to forget. So I was like, all right, Frederick, we're going for a walk. You know how it goes. Okay, so anyway, I remember where we were going before we got sidetracked. So, theme music. In the second to last video, which to the people who aren't members, it would be the last video. Oh, gotta make sure this dog, there's a big doggy over here. Gotta make sure they're on a leash. I think they're on a leash. We're okay. Okay, so the last video. You won't see the comment because it was bait. They were trying to bait you into getting you to react to their comment. And we didn't, we were like, we ixnayed their plan. But what they were trying to bait you on was, over here, Frederick. Hey, come on. We're going to walk around this parking lot so I can tell this story. Yes, we are. Come on over here. Hey, come on. Okay, so, and the reason this is so funny is the people that watch the video will know. They will be like, they didn't comment on that. So the video at the intro, I used a song that I have license for called something like Halo Sleep Chorus, something like that. And it's basically, if you like think of like video game, like Halo back in the day, you know, where like the Master Chief is like busting into a room, that type of thing. So I found some freebie, like, you know, where I didn't have to pay music, but I got a license. You know, I made it. I thought our intro was actually pretty darn good with how I movie magicked. For our budget, I don't know if you'll find any better movie magic with our budget on that. Anyway, so someone goes, you can't believe you used a traditional Catholic hymn for the intro to your music, to your video. This is so sacrilegious. Look at it was like 18 pages. Never mind this song that I used. Oh, and they just kept calling it Catholic hymn, not the name of it, which tells you that they just assume everything that sounds is some hymn, right? So, which this song I used, it was written in something like 2012, 2011, 2012. It's not a Catholic hymn. There's literally no words said. There's just like a random But, you know, if you try to engage with people on that, they drag you down to their level and then they beat you with experience. So you're just better off just, we're going to just remove you from the party because you're trying to bait people. But the part where I thought was funniest about that was they wrote a novel. Like they were trying to get published by Random House or something about how my intro theme song was so offensive. And I need to check this law and that law and all this. They obviously didn't watch the video because the T-shirt I wore in the second half of the video, you think they would have commented on that. I never, like, not just how awesome it is, but if they truly believe what they said they believed, they would have had thoughts on that T-shirt. Which is another part where, because they didn't mention it, it's not worth wasting your time even replying because they didn't watch your video. So if they didn't watch your video, why should you bother replying to their comment or wasting your viewers' time replying to the comment? No, they can just keep on trucking. Have a nice day. And the other part that was funniest about it too, besides that, I don't want to say funniest, but funny about it besides that was I absolutely accidentally on purpose, or I mean accidentally not on purpose, used what we'll call religious songs in videos in the past where I had no idea because I'm not in those religions. No offense to those people. I didn't try to do it to be offensive, and I feel like those people kind of knew that because they commented and they were like, "I like that music. I can't believe you used that here." Yada yada yada. And I'm like, I just tried to find a song that sounded like the beginning of Fargo. So, and you see, when you try to use music and you don't want your videos taken down, you need a license to the music if you didn't make it. Oh, we got the Warrior Biker Gang up here. Let's cross early, Frederick. They're trying to come out and play. So I tried to get the music from Fargo. We'll just say they wanted a lot of money. Like a lot. Like if it was like $5, I'd have paid it, but we'll just say it was, I feel like $14.99, not $14.99 in terms of like a Domino's pizza, but $1,499. I'm like, we're gonna have to nope out of that. That's way beyond. So I just clicked through like 4,000 songs and the YouTube free library, and I'm like, this song sounds pretty similar. We're gonna run with it. And then it's kind of like that movie uh, with Will Ferrell where he takes the gal flowers and they're like grain flowers. Little did he know. Little did I know, the song that I picked that sounded very, very similar to the beginning song of Fargo was a like Jewish hymn. Oops, my bad. Totally not intentional. I just thought it sounded like them, If you watch, you know what I'm talking about. So, and I actually looked when I got this, I don't know, Halo sleep music or whatever it's called. I checked to make sure. After I feel like it was my Bodyguard 2 2,000 round review video where I tried to use the Fargo music and it wasn't the Fargo music. Since then I Googly, I check. So that made it even funnier. Anyway, apparently they think anybody is a Catholic hymn. Come on, Mr. Frederick. I mean, let's be honest. The people that have seen that video, if they were Catholics, the music at the beginning was the least of their concerns as far as championing their faith goes. Not that I have a problem with their faith. More power to them. I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but okay, if you are, go Big Blue or whatever the hell their slogan is. Or they're like, the fighting Scottish. The reality is they probably used to be back in the day. They wanted to be the fighting corgis, but the queen stepped in and she was like, about that, fellas. You got enough money to pay the licensing rights? And they didn't have like 18 gajillion doubloons or whatever the queen demanded. And so they were like, who else likes to fight besides corgis? The Irish. And they're like, perfect. We'll even do a fake accent and say we have a shillelagh. And then we'll talk about stealing our Lucky Charms. So, anyway, Frederick, we might have to take you down to the old gas station and get you some of those Oreo ice cream bites because they don't have chocolate in them. They have a chocolate-like coating. Come on, you can't pee over here. They'll get you on the security camera and they'll complain on the Facebook about you. Come on, we got to keep on trucking. Everyone on this neighborhood has those cameras. They like to spy on Smith and Wesson. Atta boy, he's a good boy. Anyway, the Warrior Bike Gang, e-bike gang is circling. So Fred and I are gonna end our live stream in case Fred has to give him the old biggity barks. Anyway, so what day is it? Tuesday. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. Stay hydrated out there. Weather is slightly better than it was the last couple of days, so you got that going for you. Hope that trend continues, right? So cross your fingers and your toes. And it's kind of like that song, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. But, cross your head, your fingers, and your toes. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your night. And don't feel bad if you have an ice cream. Tell your significant other, Frederick J. Corkenite Jr. Jr. That's a junior with a JR and then junior spelled out. Said it was okay. So anyway, there you go. Fred said it was okay. Thanks for watching.